Hello and welcome to the Rugby Hour, your weekly hour of two guys talking a right load of codswallop about the rugby. As always, I'm Hugh, and as always, I'm joined by Kieran.
God, you're getting good with your synonyms, aren't you?
Thank you very much. Thank you. We definitely didn't just Google synonyms of rubbish just before this.
Shh, don't tell them our methods, Hugh.
Don't tell them our secret. We need a thesaurus, that's what we need. Anyway, welcome back. It's week 8 now. So that means 2 months of doing this.
Yeah, I mean, going well, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I hope so. And I hope...
We haven't missed a week yet?
No, we haven't. And that is good, but it's coming up to Christmas now. So...
And we don't intend to miss one.
No, exactly, we don't. We don't.
The most interesting is when it gets to know rugby. What are we going to do then?
God, next summer, we're just going to be...
Chatting absolute... We'll be chatting, what was it? Codswallop about the rugby then.
We're just going to be obsolete for a few months between mid-June and September.
Yeah.
That's basically what's going to happen. Anyway, enough of the pleasantries. Let's get into some serious stuff. Rugby.
Lovely premiership action. And which the fixture list for this weekend, especially the televised games, was an absolute treat of games.
They were very nice. They were very kind to us.
Gloucester Bears.
Friday night.
Sarries Chiefs. And then Tigers Quins. They're all really interesting games.
Yeah.
Well, getting into the first game, Gloucester Bristol, not maybe so interesting.
Well,
a
good old West Country derby on a Friday night.
Not for me, being a Bristol fan.
No, not for you.
A good old West Country derby is beating Bath, beating Gloucester, as we have done for the past few years quite consistently.
Yeah, well, I'm sure has been made clear now on Friday night, Gloucester were able to pull off their first one against Bristol in their last 5 meetings.
Yeah.
Gloucester running out 27-10 winners, a bonus point win for Gloucester. Kieran, where did it go wrong for Bristol?
Well, the first half was pretty uneventful.
Yeah.
Bristol didn't do anything good. They didn't do much massively wrong. You can't really when it's only, 8-3?
8-3. And the try came from a rolling ball.
Yeah, so... Not horrible. Semi Randrandra comes on at half time. Immediate impact. If you haven't seen what I did, go see our TikTok page.
It's pinned post.
Immediate impact. And for 10 minutes of that game, Semi Randrandra was single-handedly carrying Bristol into that game.
Oh yeah. Lifted up all the players.
Lifted up everyone. Sheedy then started playing well. Randall as well with a few breaks.
Yeah.
And it really. You really thought in that first 10 minutes of the second half, Bristol had come into life and they'd have that game fairly.
From that first 10 minutes, big momentum shift in favour of Bristol, and they come up with a try.
But then it, for me, was just... We didn't want the ball, did we? We just didn't...
Well, I don't know. You had the ball. It was about... I can't remember when. 55th minute or something when Gloucester scored their second try.
Yeah.
Where they got a nice dominant scrum and then Mark Atkinson put through a great kick for Chris Harris to run onto and dot it down.
It was a really good try, actually.
Yeah, really good try. That was the really big momentum shift.
Yeah, it was Gloucester. They had decent retention, I would say, although they did keep giving the ball away a bit. But
yeah, but I thought they had. I thought they got the dominance in the pack. I thought so. They had their scrums were better than Bristol. Although Bristol's scrum was not as bad as the other week against Northampton.
Oh no, the scrums were so very solid actually. The scrums was there many scrum penalties?
Not really, but I just thought they had the edge in the pack, especially considering their 2 driving maul tries. The second driving maul try being a penalty try.
Yeah. At this point with Bristol, you do have to start asking the question even more: where is it going wrong?
Yeah, you do. I mean,
you look at this game. You had a lot of big players coming back. They had that little excuse. I'd say give them another game after the European Cup. Then you have to ask serious questions, because you could say Randrandra, and for example, and who else? Not Uren. He's been playing the whole season.
Luatua.
Yeah, Randall is who I was to. Luatua. Maybe they've not had a chance to get into the squad.
No.
But I feel like players with that, they do come in generally, and they wouldn't be picked if they weren't experienced enough in the squad again. So some questions got to be asked now of Pat Lam and Bristol.
Well, I asked this last week, and I'll ask it again. Next week is Europe. Is a change of competition going to be a good thing for Bristol?
No, it can't be anything worse than now, currently in the Premiership. Even if we lose, then at least it's not a loss in the Premiership, it's a loss in Europe, right?
Yeah, well, you got to think next weekend, and we'll talk about the European games later. You're going to get Scarlets, who have been awfully hit by COVID. As in, they only have 7 senior players available.
Please don't bring it to us.
Now.
We've had a big enough injury crisis. We could do without COVID in.
Well, they
all cause tests. I'm just kidding.
They've got 34 players stuck in a hotel in Northern Ireland.
Oh wow! Are they going to still be able to play the game?
They have 7 senior players available and 7 academy players, and there's talk of Ospreys loaning a few players for the European games. The Scarlets team comes out of quarantine on Friday night.
Yeah.
So that's not enough time for them to get match fit.
No, not at all.
All they're allowed to do.
Welfare,
all they're allowed to do while they've been in quarantine is have a 30-minute wander in the car park. They're stuck inside for 23 and a half hours. They're not allowed to train. They're not allowed a rugby ball, any weights or anything. What they do get though is a resistance band, which they can have a go with for 30 minutes.
For 30 minutes only?
30 minutes
even
only.
in their own hotel room?
Yeah, because the thing is, they're not in a big hotel with like massive rugby pitches out. They're in a small chain of hotels, very small hotels, quarantining there in Northern Ireland at the moment. They have been absolutely decimated by COVID.
But is that any good for Bristol then, if they play just a really easy...
Well, do you need a win to get the confidence going?
We had a win against, who, Worcester? And it's not really done much, has it?
No.
But now you've got the players back. It is a good competitive game, even if it does turn out to be a training ground game. It is a game nonetheless.
Yeah. But John, there are the positives for Bristol from the weekend. Is Randra obviously back.
He was classed.
Morahan's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Randall was back. Luatua was back. Those are positives for Bristol.
They're massive players. Sinclair. I don't know if he's now injured.
Sorry, there's a fly going about. I know he hit Kieran.
He did. But Sinclair hopefully should be back soon, sort out a lot of the scrum stuff.
Yeah.
I have to say, John O'Fella, very impressive in the scrums.
Yeah.
It's compared to what we were last week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and he played the full game, I'm pretty sure.
He did.
Our substitution prop was an academy prop that no one's ever heard of, which... Against Premiership level, I think we saw last week, it doesn't really work if you bring in inexperienced props. It might for around the field, but for the scrummaging, you really need that good experience.
Yeah, definitely.
So I was impressed by John O'Fella as well. Good to see him back.
Just putting 80 minutes at his age, that is.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, but for Gloucester, up to 6th, they're a point off the playoff place at the moment.
Yeah.
Real positives for them.
And I must say, Chris Harris was very, very good in defence.
As he always is,
He was, and Atkinson as well. That combination is so good.
Yeah, definitely. That's a nice centre partnership. You got to think they got players like Billy 12 Trees on the bench.
Yeah, I mean
they do have depth in that centre area.
But you couldn't really drop Atkinson and Harris in that combination for me at the moment.
No, it works so well.
Yeah,
it works so well.
It works a lot better than 12 Trees, especially with Hastings at 10.
Yeah.
I really think that's a breath of fresh air from Cipriani's madness.
A lot more control with Hastings.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot more control. And I said Hastings is a really good signing of Gloucester, and he played well on Friday as well, and he's proving to be a really good signing. But overall, a real positive day for Gloucester.
Yep.
Real positive day. And full credit to George Skivington, because I felt last season was very much in some way a prolonged pre-season for Gloucester. They spent most of it trying out new things, bleeding in a few new players.
For sure.
A lot of it was a prolonged pre-season, but now, and they came close in games last season.
Many games.
But weren't able, but now they've got this season, they got their identity, their game plan. They've got very good squad depth as well. So full credit to George Skivington and the coaching staff at Gloucester, because they're building very nicely right now. Building very nicely. As in all fairness, a lot of teams in the Premiership are building nicely right now.
Oh yeah,
there are. A lot
I think
of
that's
teams.
Bristol's problem. A lot of teams are building nicely, whereas Bristol just haven't built on not the opportunity to. Bear in mind the injuries.
What I'd say about Bristol as well, bar probably that first 10 minutes after second half, there wasn't much in attack from Bristol.
Just lacklustre.
It wasn't very imaginative.
Well, there was, and it's finishing the stuff off. Like, I remember there was a time, I think it must have been first half, got to the 5 metre in. I think it was on the stroke of half time.
Yeah, it was.
And it was really impressive play, actually, from Bristol. They got the ball, and for once they were spreading. And I think that was the first time they really got a good chance in attack, because they were defending for a lot of that half.
Yeah.
Mind, especially the first half. They didn't get many attacking opportunities. And when they did that because I think I said to you, because we were watching this in a pub with about 10 Gloucester fans, me being the only Bristol fan, but we'll get past that.
Kieran had a great time.
I said to Hugh, that is really promising, because the first show of attack we got, we really stretched. We went so far down the field, got there, but we didn't finish it off. No. And if you get a score like that before half time, Randrandra comes on, does what he does, you get that score after half time. It's a complete different complexion on the game. Gloucester are almost out of it at that point.
Yeah.
But there are positives for Bristol.
There are, but ultimately it wasn't
among a lot of
and
negatives.
Currently sat in 12th in the Premiership now.
Yes, because my favourite team, Worcester, managed to pick up a win, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, but if we move on to the televised game on Saturday, and maybe one of the semi-finals at the end of the season,
you'd have to. It'll be a high chance of it.
I think this week we had two of potential semi-finals.
Yes.
You know,
I mean,
Chiefs,
you look
Sarries,
at the current
Tigers,
table, you'd have to say so.
Yeah, mind you, Northampton are 4th at the moment, but we'll get on to them in a bit. Chiefs versus Sarries at Sandy Park. Chiefs coming off 18-15 winners.
I'll be honest, it kind of surprised me, because Sarries are looking quite formidable, but then it doesn't surprise me, because Chiefs are a quality team. I feel they've just lacked the consistency, I guess, this season. And maybe just the same aggression you'd usually expect, but a Chiefs-Sarries game, you're always going to get aggression, and I think that's what Chiefs are going to do very well.
Do you know what really cost Sarries, though?
What's that?
Discipline.
Yeah.
Particularly talking back.
A lot of people were complaining about the ref not having a strong game.
And also,
I didn't watch I couldn't see what the ref was doing, because I was watching the last 20 minutes in a clubhouse after me playing myself a game of rugby.
Yeah, and also, Luke Pearce, I don't think it was his best game he's ever had.
Luke Pearce is probably my favourite ref in the Premiership.
He's probably the best ref in the Premiership right now. I don't think it was his best game he's ever had refereeing. A few calls probably got wrong.
Yeah.
But he was 100% right on this, because it's around the 25th minute mark. Good bit of defence from Exeter. They push Sarries back to the 10 metre line in Exeter's half. Go over counter ruck, win a penalty for hands in the ruck. And then Billy Vunipola starts having a go at Luke Pearce.
Clip of this on our TikTok, by the way.
On our TikTok. Billy Vunipola starts having a go at Luke Pearce, who just marches back 10 metres, as he should do. Then Billy Vunipola
goes again
back and makes a gesture to him, so Luke Pearce goes another 10 metres.
Absolutely right. It was either that or a yellow card for me.
It was because he took Andy Good to a side then, who's one of the co-captains, him and Jack Saria, and said he has an option if he says anything more, then he goes. And so, really good refereeing from Luke Pearce.
Yeah, he had an option. I don't think if he's back chatting again after being marched 10 metres back, you're quite right to even just give a yellow straight away then. Yeah,
but going back 20 metres.
And if there's any ref that isn't afraid do that, it's Luke Pearce.
Yeah, definitely.
I remember at Bristol, every ruck once, he got a bit of slack for it, but he was going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 every ruck for the countdown of use it.
Yeah, well, he's trying to encourage positive play.
Yeah, and that's what I like. I think he's such a good ref in general that he's now trying to add those extra bits that make him a really, really great one.
He's definitely become, particularly over the past 2 years, one of the best referees in world rugby right now.
Oh, 100%.
And I thought it was good to see. It's about rugby values,
And we can have some positive ref talk for once.
Yeah, well, it's that's the thing. It's about rugby values. Rule number 1 of rugby: the ref is always right. Rule number 2: even if he's wrong, refer to rule number 1.
Exactly. I love that quote. Yeah,
exactly. So it's really good to see, and it's about the values of the game. This isn't football. We're not talking back and having a go at the referee. And do you know what? A bit of back chat has been sneaking into rugby recently, I've noticed.
Dan Bigger.
Yeah, I'll tell you to back off, Dan Bigger. But anyway, it was good to see Luke Pearce taking a stand. And ultimately, that's the 3 points that cost Saracens.
Yeah.
20 metres, ended up in the Sarri's half. Exeter take the 3 points.
And I'm glad, because we were, as I mentioned, on this Friday, we were in this pub with these and these guys came in our rugby pub, and they were on a stag do.
Yeah.
And they were all Gloucester supporters, but they were going to this game.
Yeah.
And one of them said to me, "Which team do you hate the most?" And I said, in my clearly unbiased opinion, Saracens.
Yeah.
And he said, "Yes, me too. Glad we're on the same page." I think it's unanimous rugby supporters. A lot of them don't like Sarries.
Yeah.
And
for good reason.
The reason he was saying this to us, just on a side note, is because he was worried that they'd make him dress up in a night costume instead of corporate box at the game. So, but that would have been funny if you saw that on TV. But
yeah, but for Chiefs, man of the match in that game was Luke Candicky. He was back after his injury. Captained the side for the first time. Real strong game. Scored a try. Really led by example in that game.
Yeah, really got to prove himself and place himself in that England squad.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a real opportunity there for him to challenge Jamie George. For
I mean,
or the number
if it hadn't been for his injury, he was England's hooker during the internationals. Jamie George didn't even get in the squad originally.
Well, yeah.
But Sarries might question actually some of the decision making at the end, or one particular decision, because they were 18-9 down. 70 minutes they get a penalty, they take the 3, which was the right decision, by the way. 18-12.
Get it within 5.
Then they seem to have a bit of a momentum swing for about the next 3 minutes, where they're right in Exeter, as into them aggressively, win a penalty, get into their half, and they win another penalty, and they decide to take the 3 there. This is around 75 minutes. Now, I've made this clear, a big believer in taking the 3.
Oh, I know.
And in honesty, at the time, I probably was thinking, right decision, 5 minutes is still plenty of time.
Yeah.
But in hindsight,
if you got the aggression as well, and bear in mind, Chiefs are going to kick that back to you, they're going to stick it well deep.
Yeah. I mean, Saracens
in a tight game
there.
like that, where there's not much scores. I mean, what did the penalty make it? It was 18-15.
18-15. Might have been worth going to the corner.
Yeah.
Because they seem to have a bit of dominance on them.
It's these questions, though, you can ask them all day. I think the sensible option is to take 3. You get possession back.
Yeah.
If you're playing well enough, you'll build those penalties.
I mean, at the time, I thought it was the right decision, but maybe not. I was like, also, I want to talk about, there was this moment, I think it might have been at 18-12, where... No, it might have not been. I can't remember where it was, but it was towards the end of the game where Exeter had a really good attack. They're on the 5 metre line for 20 phases. Yeah. And then they have this one chance where there's there's about 25 metres on the right side of the pitch. Nobody's there apart from Joe Simmons and the winger. And Johnny Hill just doesn't pass it, goes alone.
Oh, one of them.
And Joe Simmons is going absolutely mental.
It reminds me of that. Have you seen the clip of Johnny May when...
when I think it's Billy 12 Trees doesn't pass it, and he's just
Gloucester, and he's
pissed off.
Fuming.
But Joe Simmons, and Joe Simmons was right here because it was an absolute walk-in. Even if it's the shittest pass ever by Johnny Hill, it's a walk-in. So he is going absolutely wild at it.
I can't blame him.
Because that would have killed the game as well. But overall in the end it didn't matter. Exeter... I want to talk about their try in the first half. It was right on it was near half-time as well.
I haven't seen it.
So it was a good psychological time to score. An excellent crossfield kick from Joe Simmons. And O'Flaherty absolutely dominates. I think it might be... I don't know who it's against. I think it might be Lewington. And Lewington always looks favourite because it's coming right down on Lewington. But O'Flaherty sort of jumps, and in his jump pushes Lewington out the way and just sort of in a jump climbs over him, takes the ball and scores.
Very risky these days with the laws around jumping.
And
well, taking in the air, being quite unclear recently.
No, because Lewington, he may have jumped, but not that high because it was coming right on him.
I mean, if you jump, it's usually fine because it's a clear contest. If you jump,
but no, because it wouldn't. Lewington wasn't even looking at. He probably didn't know O'Flaherty was there. In all honesty, until O'Flaherty just took it, and good finish from him. But at the end of the game, Chiefs head off the pitch straight to the clubhouse and have a few pints with the fans. That's again a lovely thing to see.
It's just a rugby community sort of thing, isn't it?
That game was all about rugby values. Respect the ref, and then players having pints with fans afterwards. It was really good to see. Yeah. Really good to see. But overall, that is a massive win for the Chiefs, who have been they've been a bit inconsistent this season.
They have, yeah.
So to get this against Saracens, that is massive.
Yes, and I'm right behind them with beating Sarries.
Yeah.
But should we move on?
We should.
To the next game.
The next game, London Irish versus Newcastle Falcons. London Irish 43, Newcastle 21.
Yeah, it's one of those games that's so hard to predict because Irish are such a big unknown.
Yeah.
All the time. Like, they have the potential to beat any team on the league, and they do pretty regularly make a big upset
this year. They've beaten Exeter, they've drawn Saracens and beaten Quins. Yeah,
and it's just their consistency. Falcons are one of the teams you'd expect them to maybe slip against. Typical Irish fashion.
Yeah. But, they started strongly. Because a lot of time earlier on this season for Irish, it was very much
started to play in the second half.
Second half, or for like 20-minute periods.
They give themselves too big of a gap to come back to.
But this was a real 80-minute performance. They started really strong, and Ollie Hassel-Collins ended up getting a hat-trick in that game. Wow. So, Ollie Hassel-Collins should be in the England squad.
England are in such a good position for wingers.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So, I mean, do you go against the old faithful Johnny May?
Well, I'm not saying England's starting 15. I'm saying the England squad.
Yeah, but who do you drop out of it? Who's getting dropped out?
That is true.
Everyone's become a winger, you see. All these lockdown, they've all just gone on the treadmill, practicing a few sprints there. Now they're all wingers.
Yeah, so. Also, in that game, Adam Radwan scored a great try.
Radwan's quality as well.
Yeah. But Ollie Hassel-Collins getting a hat-trick. Again, a real strong game from Cravey at hooker.
Yeah.
He's been a great signing for London Irish. All his experience, and he may have retired from international rugby, but I think I'd happily have him if I was Argentinian in my starting 15.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, because he's playing really, really well. But overall, for London Irish, real strong performance for them.
Yeah.
And,
very dominant, it seems.
I asked this after the Exeter game, is this a chance for them to kick on? They didn't. Now they've beaten Quins last week.
Falcons
this week. Is this the point where they kick on? Although going into Europe has probably come at just the wrong time for them. Building momentum in the Premiership, and now they've got to stop for 2 weeks and go into a different competition.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing. I don't know if I can see them now keeping the momentum up. Because who have they got in the...
they're not playing Champions Cup, they're Challenge Cup.
Which will probably benefit them.
Yeah.
To keep momentum going if they can.
Yeah. But... I'm sorry we're not covering this well. It wasn't on TV, and I don't have the time to watch the full match replay to properly understand.
Considering this is on Monday as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's games Sunday, I think it's reasonable for that.
Yeah. So I'm very, very sorry about that. That's why we're not covering it as much. But if we move on then to Northampton Saints versus Bath. Bath having a very, very disappointing game.
As is the case many times this season.
Losing 40
Did you
points
watch the game,
to 19. No, because what I was going to...
He was going to avoid the score and then...
Yeah. But it came up and I was trying to turn off the TV, but it wouldn't turn off. So I saw it. So I was like, oh, fuck, I'm not watching that then.
Yeah.
I did watch highlights. Unfortunate, mind you, we conceded in the first minute. A try in the first minute.
That's never good.
No, we can see we were about 14-0 down by 12 minutes.
Yeah.
We do get one back. Missed the conversion, fortunately, and then really unfortunately, both our halfbacks go off injured.
Yeah, that's always going to be pretty rough for any team.
And considering we only had two backs on the bench.
You went for 6-2.
We didn't have a replacement fly half. So it was... I want to talk about first Ben Spencer. He's been injured a lot this season, and he's been so good since he signed with Bath. Yeah. And we don't exactly have the depth at scrum half.
So who came on at 10?
Well, we had Gay Palmer-Webb, who's a winger, as our 23. We put him into the backfield and we moved Max Ajomo to 10.
Yeah.
Who's an inside centre, really. He's not a 10.
But not the worst option.
Not a great option, though. And don't get me wrong, I really like Max Ajomo. I think he's played very well this season. It's
well. Better than having to play a proper 10.
it really went in a very disappointed Bath side.
Unless it's John Afoa, but...
Unless it's John Afoa. But really unfortunate. Danny Cipriani going off with concussion as well.
Yeah.
We're still waiting for updates on them, see if they'll be available for Leinster.
I have to ask you, as a Bath fan, you said a few weeks ago you preferred
Orlando
Bailey to Danny Cipriani.
Yeah.
Is that still the case?
Yeah, it still is. And Orlando Bailey had a great game against Exeter Chiefs. Yeah. I don't know why we took him off when we did. We took him off with about 10 minutes to go. Why not keep him on?
With 10s, most teams will not replace their 10 apart from an injury.
No, but do you think it was the feeling in the coach's box that, we have Danny Cipriani on the bench, we just have to get him on? Because
all rugby coaches these days have got a bit less like that. They pick players.
But it's weird because Orlando Bailey was playing really well in that game, and I don't get why we took him off.
Were you up at that point?
Yeah, we were up. Yeah. But I think Orlando Bailey's young. He's only just turned 20. He's the future at fly half, considering Cipriani's only here till the end of this season. Yes,
and I think with that in mind, Bath should easily starting him a lot more. It reminds me a lot of the Madigan-Sheedy situation.
Yeah.
As a Bristol fan. Sorry I relate to so many Bristol things, but this is being a Bristol fan. This is what I do. But Madigan, massively experienced, big name in Bristol, has that sort of secured. And as the season goes on, the coaches realise Sheedy is playing better than Madigan, start to play him more, start him more, and then Sheedy's your long-term option. And it does a lot for him then to have that sort of half season, even when you're not competitive, to build, get in the squad, be playing at that level. And now you look, he's our safe first choice 10 and played well. We won the league. We didn't win the league. We got top side last season. So it could be massive for Bath.
I don't want to oversimplify this, but two best games we played this season: Bristol away, who started at 10 and Orlando Bailey.
Yeah,
and he played very, very well that game.
Yeah,
very well. And Exeter Chiefs at home. That's the second best football we've played, and Orlando Bailey started that game. The worst we've played this season against Saracens. Do you know who started? Cipriani.
Danny Sips.
Orlando Bailey comes off the bench and we score 17 points.
Yeah, it's...
I don't want to oversimplify this because that's what I feel like I'm doing right now in my head, a massive oversimplification. But I think we play better when Orlando Bailey's at 10 at the moment.
What I say, we get press passes to some Bath games and then you can interview the coaches to say, play Orlando Bailey.
Yeah, but
lay all these facts out to him there.
But even with our half-backs off, our defence was just non-existent. We're actively searching for a defence coach now at the moment.
Oh, at least you've got that. At least you've actually realised that makes sense to have a coach.
Yeah, it took a 3-week review for that to happen. But the problem is, this isn't just a thing that's happened overnight for Bath.
Yeah.
It's been happening over the past few seasons. We've just been gradually getting worse.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've been saying, because I'm relating it to Bristol again.
Yeah, you are, but go on.
But the Bristol-Bath derby has got to be less and less sort of nerve-wracking from my perspective.
Yeah.
As the years go on, because I felt it's more confident in it.
For me, the past 2 seasons has been, we're just going to lose.
Yeah, and it does take the fun out of it for me, I must admit. But back to Bath.
But yeah, our defence was just non-existent. It had so many holes in it. It had more holes in it than the fish
Well,
nets.
if you don't have a defence coach, what do you expect your defence to be? A bunch of players sort of dragged in.
Well, we have Neil Hatley in charge of defence. He's not a bad coach.
No.
But I don't know. We just there was just so many gaps in our defence, and do you know what? I don't know.
Saints of any team are going to take advantage of gaps.
They're a lovely attacking team. I really like what Chris Boyd's doing there.
Yeah, the whole game is built about taking advantage of the gaps. That even against the best defences might not occur often. So.
And they played well. And even if we had our half-backs on, I don't think the score would have been much different.
No.
Would have been much different. And I'm sorry I'm not talking much about the positive Saints at the moment, but I don't really want to. I mean, for Bath, things have been going off the past few years. Things like recruitment, for example, have not been enough. We have only 3 second rows in the whole senior team.
But you look at the rest of your team.
Hold on. We only have 3 second rows in the senior team.
I mean, if one gets injured...
Yeah, exactly. exactly. Last season we let go of Zach Mercer, and this season we're letting go of Felipe Faletau. 2 world-class 8s, and we...
yeah.
I mean, that just makes no sense.
No, and it's a big loss in turn.
Yeah, and at 10, we've gone for a short-term solution, Danny Cipriani, when he just isn't it. He's getting older, he's only on a 1-year contract. What's the point? Why not plan for the future better? It's good to see homegrown players coming through there. You know, Tom de Glanville's our starting fullback, Max Ajomo on the inside centre. And there are positives in the playing squad. But the playing squad also isn't performing well enough right now.
Yeah.
Which is down to the coaches.
Oh, that's pretty clear as well.
The thing is, because it is a longer issue than just something happening overnight, I think that we're not quite perhaps thinking we need to have a knee-jerk reaction. Especially with no relegation this season, you don't need that short-term fix.
Yeah, because... if relegation was happening this season, there'd be a lot more desperation.
Oh yeah, there would definitely been somebody fired by now if there was relegation this year.
You look at when Bristol came up with Andy Robinson.
Yeah.
This is the latest example, really.
Yeah.
Getting a few games, you realise, if we don't change, we're going to get relegated. Change the coach. Still got relegated, bear in mind, but it led to a lot of change.
But with no relegation this year...
This is what relegation is needed, I think. But
is it? Because what good would a knee-jerk reaction do us? Sure, maybe it has a short-term effect, but long-term, the issue... Yeah. The long-term, the deeper-rooted issue...
Don't get me wrong, I'm glad relegation's gone this season as a Bristol fan, where we are.
I'm fucking delighted.
Yeah. But I do think there is an aspect, even if it's just playing the top team from the Championship for promotion, top team from the Championship plays bottom team of Premiership... There's still that element. If they have a good game, then they can beat us, and we'll go down. But
look, there's no relegation this year, and that's probably why we aren't having a knee-jerk reaction to any of this. And we're taking our time, and in honesty, I don't mind that. I think right now things have to get worse before they get better,
and that's
and it's good it's happening this season when there's no relegation.
Yeah, definitely. And if relegation returns...
Well, it is next year.
Okay.
Because they're going to 14 teams next year. Yeah. So,
I know.
Ealing finally going to get their chance.
I've heard this is old news, but...
Yeah. So, going to 14 next year bring relegation.
It's just, seems a bit off to me, but...
Why? Why just 14? You got the top 14. It used to be the Pro 14.
Yeah, but we're just adding more and more teams on.
We've only added 2 more. We're not exactly adding the world. No. And this means that teams like Ealing and Cornish Pirates are getting their chance.
Ealing get a chance. Or Pirates. We don't know who's getting promoted yet, do we?
No.
So we can't write off anyone. Because Cornish Pirates are building a nice new stadium.
Yeah.
Love to see them
But overall, it'll give those teams a chance.
Oh, yeah,
I don't see any negatives going to 14.
No, yeah, true.
Yeah, but anyway... Glad it's happening this season for Bath, where there is no massive threat.
But should we just move on? We've spent a lot of time on this game.
I could go on about this. I could go on about the issues at Bath for hours.
But
if we go on, upset of the weekend, Worcester Warriors 32, Wasps 31.
I'm not just the fact they won. Worcester have managed to score 32 points.
Yes.
How the fuck does that happen?
Duran van der Merwe.
Good answer.
He was playing very, very well. Very well. I think he had like 10 carries and made 190 metres. So, you know, he had quite the game.
And you have to give Worcester credit where it's due. That's good recruitment. They did have good recruitment this summer.
But I still don't understand how they signed Duran van der Merwe. It still just
it blows my mind just as much as yours, I think.
I mean... My only thought is, does he have a part of the M6, M5, what motorway is it? M5 he really likes.
I have no clue. I don't know which motorway you're thinking of here.
But on the way past Worcester, it goes right next to Six Ways. I think it's the M5.
Yeah, I don't know, but from where down from Scotland?
I think it's the M5. Does he just have like... God, I actually might be the M6. But does he have a particular part of the M5 or M6 he really likes that he just wanted to be nearer it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, but he was playing he's just so big, so strong, so quick. He is an excellent player. And he was playing incredibly well on Saturday. Sorry, I haven't told you this. At dinner, I cut myself. But it's not like a big cut. It's like a sort of paper cut. And it's really stinging.
Don't put hand sanitizer on it.
No, I think the knife I was using was really blunt. And it just sort of nicked it, but in a paper
sharp
cut
knife
way.
Is a safe knife.
so I'd rather it just put a proper cut in it because it's really stinging. A little bit of blood came out, but that stopped after 2 seconds. And that just really stings. And I just accidentally nicked the skin off it again.
Well, for the listeners wondering what this cut's like, I'm trying to see it.
Yeah, exactly. Just there.
And I purely can hardly see it among his fingerprint.
Yeah, exactly. It's very small, but it stings a lot. Where was I? They have 18 players injured at the moment, so you got to look at because their season's been a bit inconsistent at
at
to look at it in that context, for Wasps. Real shame.
A real wounded team.
Yeah, but
literally wounded.
Yeah, literally. But because the thing is, they're not playing badly. It's just they just probably don't have the same quality as a lot of the teams in the Premiership at the moment due to the sheer amount of injuries that they have. But they're still pushing teams close, only lost by a point, and they had a last-minute conversion that went just wide from Jimmy Gopperth. So, they could have won that game.
Yeah.
So, real unfortunate for Wasps the amount of injuries they've had.
Yeah, it's hard to analyse a game of what it means for Worcester, what it means for Wasps.
For Worcester, it's a great win.
Oh,
for Worcester.
Yeah.
Because don't get me wrong, this Wasps team is still quality.
Yeah, any Wasps team.
Yeah, but for Wasps, you have to look at their season in the context of injuries. It's not even just like an excuse. It genuinely is with 18 injuries.
I feel with Bristol, you can't use it as such an excuse.
No.
But with Wasps, you can. I think they're the two worst teams hit with injuries, bear in mind.
But Wasps 18, it really is
Wasps is literally
really
another... As a Bristol fan, I look at them and have sympathy, even with our injury list. So,
Yeah, but anyway... Sure, yeah. While we finish off the Saturday games, the bottom three at the moment is Bath, Bristol and Sale.
What the hell?
Yeah, exactly.
There,
Would you be predicting that when the season started?
I didn't even know Sale were doing that bad.
Yeah, they've not had the best season.
Yeah.
They're sitting down in 11th.
Well, why don't we take fans away? Then it will reverse straight away. I think we're all of our teams are just scared of the fans, maybe.
But anyway, then if we move on to the final game of the weekend, which could possibly be the other semi-final we see at the end of the season. At a sold-out Welford Road for the first time in 3 years being sold out.
What's its capacity, do you know?
24,000. At a sold-out Welford Road, Leicester Tigers versus Harlequins, George Ford versus Marcus Smith.
And now we can refer to the two-time TikTok title, How Good is George Ford?
George Ford got man of the match.
Yeah.
George Ford... his kicking game won Tigers that game.
His kicking game could win Tigers the Premiership.
I mean, those spiral bombs.
Yeah.
Did you see, watching those spiral bombs?
The creator.
I mean, those spiral bombs, players were getting nowhere near them.
I didn't watch the full games.
No. But these spiral bombs, they go up, but they just drop.
Yeah, especially if it's more windy like it is nowadays.
Yeah, but
it's really going to affect the flight.
You had a player like Tyrone Green, who, by the way, in that game, caught a ball with his legs. He was about 2 meters away from this spiral bomb.
Yeah.
You had Marcus Smith getting nowhere near, professional...
And these are world-class players.
Professional players, world-class, who are paid to take the high ball.
Yeah.
We're just getting nowhere near it. George Ford's spiral bomb is something else. And do you know what? They're saying this in commentary, and they're completely right, yeah? You can't practice against that because
you don't have George Ford in your squad.
Not many players can do the spiral bomb.
I need to watch this game back then and see what these were like, because he hasn't done one in the past. He hasn't
this season, actually.
utilised them this season. No.
I remember he did them against Bath last year in both games, and they were just fucking wicked, these balls. They were just dropping. Like Anthony Watson, England international fullback, was getting nowhere near
It's
them.
like he cast a spell on the ball.
Yeah, exactly. But not just his spiral bombs. The way he kicked for territory, especially in that last 15 minutes... Tigers.
His territorial kicking is so good.
His kicking game is possibly the best in the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's not much. I don't think we'll be crucified for saying that at all, apart from by the Marcus Smith stands. But
yeah. Well, Marcus Smith is a talented player, but he's not the best. His kicking game isn't the best in the world.
No, but we very much know you say anything about George Ford, people turn it into a competition with Marcus Smith.
Yeah.
Really, we can just admire how good his kicking game is.
Oh, by the way, Marcus Smith got a yellow card in that game.
Yeah.
See, a yellow card for coming through the ruck, slapping out of Ben Youngs' hands. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy.
Yeah. I see you created a meme about that.
Yeah. Well, I've seen it on Twitter a lot as well. It's a pretty common one at the moment. Yes. But Tigers... oh no, what do I want to talk about? I want to talk about the first half. It was quite entertaining, but it was mainly trading penalties.
Yeah.
9-6. Last play...
Well, it was only trading penalties by that.
Yeah,
score,
but last play of the half, they have them all. Bearing in mind, Marcus Smith is in the bin at this point.
Yeah.
But Leicester are down a man as well. It goes out, and they have, in about a 25-metre space, a 3-on-1. Hugh Jones decides to just go for it himself. He gets taken out and held up over the line.
Yeah.
Last play, he had 2 men outside and completely free. And a player of Hugh Jones's quality, he should be making the pass there. Massive missed opportunity for Quins, because they're actually right on the stroke of half time. That is a big missed opportunity.
I mean, it was only down to 2 points in the end, so I mean that could have won them the game.
Yeah.
Really,
but if we talk about... I want to talk about first the Leicester Tigers try scored by Harry Potter. An excellent infield kick from Ben Youngs.
Yeah.
Now, Ben Youngs played really well.
Ben Youngs confuses me because he has really good games and really
Well, he's been playing quite well this season, all fairness.
Yeah, he has, yeah.
And he had a great game. And you know what? He went off on the 55th minute.
Quite early.
Yeah, but they brought on Richard Wigglesworth, who, they were up, they were trying to win the kicking game, which they did, and Richard Wigglesworth is probably perfect for that.
Yeah.
But Ben Youngs had a really, really good game. If he was on for a bit longer, he probably would have got man of the match. Yeah. But he also had this great handoff against Marcus Smith, which very much had the feeling, this is for my mate George.
Yeah.
But this brilliant inside kick, if you get someone like Bowden Barrett doing that, then you're thinking, oh my God. It was a great kick from him, a great try.
He's got a good kicking game, actually.
Yeah. Well, a great infield kick. Then I'll talk about the Quins try scored by Liner. Puts a kick through from about the 22-metre line.
Yeah.
He gets pushed into touch by Nemani Mantolo. So he has to run back on field. Excellent finish by him. Really quality finish. Liner in that game had a few sort of defensive blips.
Yeah.
But he's a young lad.
Were they very costly?
Not very costly, but they should have been.
Yeah.
And could be in the future. But, he's young, he's inexperienced. When he gets more experience, those will go out of his game.
Yeah.
But his attacking ability, that's why you have him in the team.
Oh, his attack is incredible to watch.
Yeah.
He just seems to create gaps in front of him.
And that try he scored was real quality.
Yeah.
Real quality try. But overall, Tigers just proving too much in the end.
Yeah, and why they're the top of the league, really.
9 wins from 9.
Yeah.
What a start to the season for them.
It's nice to see, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Also horrible to see is how far away Bristol and Bath are.
Yeah, but we can ignore that. But they're now I think 11 points clear at the top.
Yeah.
Of the table. What was saying? I think Hugo Monnier was saying on the weekend you need about 15 wins to get into the playoffs. Well, Tigers have already got 9.
Yeah.
So I think even at this point it's going to be hard to see them not getting into the playoffs.
Yes, but getting into the playoffs is one thing, as Bristol will know.
But winning it is another.
If you have your dip in form, you'd rather lose those games at the start than the end. Because Bristol, they started their dip in form started before the playoffs. So you see that in the playoffs, and then you don't win. So
but
they have to keep this up for a whole season now. They can't just keep it up for 90%, which will get you winning on points, but not in the playoffs.
Yeah, but overall, Tigers playing really well. of course, George Ford is leaving this week, and it's now all but confirmed that Andre Pollard will be heading to the Tigers next year. He's practically the perfect Leicester fly half in a way.
And I couldn't think of someone better to replace George Ford there.
No, I mean, certainly his playing style, Andre Pollard.
Yeah.
I mean, his kicking game, his goal kicking as well.
Yeah.
He's also big. He's played at inside centre a lot, and he has played there for He is South African.
And what have we learned from the Premiership the last few years?
Yeah, exactly.
Just buy some South Africans.
I mean, that's what Leicester have done. That's been their strategy.
Maybe that's what Bristol Bath are missing.
Francois Lowe retired a few years ago for Bath, and we haven't been at the same since. But, on the South African front, the whole of the Leicester back row was South African.
Yeah.
Liebenberg, Van Staden, and Jasper Wiese. They got... real South Africa. I don't know where I'm going with this bloody sentence. A South African core, I suppose. They got a lot of South Africans, basically. Buy some South Africans. That's the strategy in the
Premiership. That's all we were saying.
Yeah. But anyway, for Quins, 2 losses in a row, but definitely big positives. That is the first game they played in the rain in about a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, the rain will affect Quins quite a bit, though. It could.
But did it in this game? I don't think so.
Only 2 points, no.
They only lost by 2 points, and they could have well won it.
I mean, a lot of teams, they practice with not just water, but soapy water in training. So.
Yeah. But for Quins, again, bit of problems in the red zone. They don't quite have red zone efficiency, and that's cost them the last 2 weeks. But they're clearly playing very well. But it will be interesting for Quins. Come Six Nations time, when their players go away for 7 weeks, how will they cope then? Exactly.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be very interesting to see.
Both their 10s might go.
Yeah, Tommy Allen will go with Italy, Marcus Smith is England. So that'll be interesting to see. But right now, they're both teams in the playoffs. Actually, aren't Quins anymore? I'm trying to think, because Northampton are in it now.
Yeah, I'm not sure of...
I don't know who's dropped out. Somebody's dropped out. Might have been Saracens.
He could have been.
You're gonna have to get this up, but I'll stall while you get it up. But overall, the 10 games into the Premiership, so the table's definitely starting to form.
It is Chiefs that have fell out.
Chiefs. Oh, were Northampton in it before? They must have been. Oh yeah, Northampton were. Sorry, Quins have just dropped to 4th. That's where. Anyway, we now take a break from the Premiership for the next 2 weeks.
Yes.
Because it is the return of the Heineken Champions Cup.
Yes.
So,
I think we're going to have to go a bit quicker for these because there's a lot of games to get through. But
we won't do predictions for them. We'll say who we think will win, though.
Should we go over our last week's predictions right now?
Yeah, let's go over last week's predictions.
So while I just get these up on my phone, could you write the scores down, please? Because I do not have a pen on me.
I can.
I'll take a photo of that.
H and K. Woo! Okay, let's see how we did last week.
I don't even know how many scores I've got saved.
But it's gonna be getting a load of pieces of paper together at the end of the season.
Yeah, or just listening back.
Yeah. Anyway, go on then. First game.
So Gloucester v Bears.
Yeah.
You predicted Gloucester by 3, so that's 1 point to you. I predicted Bears by 4.
0 to you. Okay, next game.
So Chiefs Sarries.
Yeah.
Basically, we both got this wrong.
Aww.
Me by more than you. I said by 12. You said by 7. We both predicted Sarries.
Yeah, all right then.
But Irish v Falcons.
Yup.
I predicted a draw.
In all honesty, that had all the makings of a draw, let's be clear here.
Yeah.
That is not the worst prediction.
You predicted Falcons by 8.
Oh, fuckers, let me down. Okay then.
Saints v Bath. I wanted to help you out and give you some faith by saying Bath by 9.
Oh.
But you said Saints by 4.
Yeah, I was being realistic and we were still shitter than that.
And Warriors v Wasps.
Both got that wrong.
Yeah, we both got it wrong. And Tigers v Quins.
Yeah.
Oh, for the second time of the year.
Shut up.
We have got an exact prediction, but by who?
I think by you.
By who? So let's be clear, the right prediction is Tigers v Quins.
Mm-hmm.
Tigers by 2.
Yeah, you got it, didn't you?
I said Tigers by 3.
Did I get it?
You got 2 sets, Tigers.
Oh, that is 4 points to me, baby.
So
Get the fuck in.
Hugh is gone. 6 points to 1 today.
Woo! Sorry, that has made me feel a hell of a lot better after Bath on the weekend.
Yes,
Woo!
that was incredible. I didn't even realise until I just read it off.
Oh,
It was
no.
like,
Awesome.
on the outlander predictions, Hugh said green leggings won. Don't think anyone was horrible enough to do that.
Nah.
And I said 2 red cards in one game during the same incident.
No, I don't think there were any red cards over the weekend.
Nah.
No.
So that's wrong.
All right.
But let's get back to Europe.
If we go through these quickly and say who we think will win, not just who, but also
A little bit about them, like a sentence.
So to kick off this European season on Friday night, Northampton versus Racing at the Gardens.
Who's going to be more flair?
Now, the thing is, Racing haven't had the best season.
No.
They're sitting mid-table in top 14. You know, with all their talent, you'd expect them to be doing a lot better.
Saints is sort of...
Saints doing quite well this season.
Yeah,
they're
of course, they're top
progressing
four, aren't they?
quite
Yeah.
nicely. Yeah.
So I'd personally go Saints.
Okay.
I was going to go Racing before I thought of the tables.
Yeah, because the thing is, we're not watching the top 14.
No, so I can't tell how they're...
I've watched one top 14 game this season though, Racing Montpellier, and Montpellier won.
Yeah.
But actually, I watched 2 because I watched Bordeaux Toulouse.
Yeah.
On the, but anyway, we can talk about that in a second. I just think all the talent Racing have, but then on form, I don't know. I think Racing might just nick it.
Right.
You know.
We'll leave that there
I got
before we
that
chat more uneducated.
Yeah. Then
Cardiff, Toulouse.
now Cardiff, another team that's been hit by COVID.
How the hell do I predict this when I don't watch either of these leagues much?
Well, you got to think who won the European Cup last year and who's currently second in the top 14. Toulouse are. Cardiff are sat 9th in the URC. Bearing in mind, Cardiff have only played 5 games.
But it's Toulouse.
And Cardiff, not as badly hit by COVID as Scarlets are, because they left a lot of their international players
if they're
back.
hit by COVID and Toulouse,
Do you know what, though?
Fine.
Cardiff Arms Park. Nah, I just don't see it.
it's Toulouse.
Toulouse.
We're not here.
Yeah.
But
It's hard to look past Dupont and
Hugh,
Samac
I've just seen the next game we're predicting. And I feel bad for you here.
So
Leinster v
so
Bath.
on Saturday it's Ireland versus Bath. I am not looking forward to it. It's very much going to be, you know, from The Simpsons. Stop, he's already dead.
Yeah.
It's very much going to be that.
Not much to be said about this apart from Leinster again.
Actually, no, do you know what my outlandish prediction is this week for Bath to beat Leinster?
Yeah.
That's going to be my outlandish prediction this
I don't
week.
even have one yet, so...
Yeah, well, that's mine. But if I'm being honest, it will be over by the 6th minute.
We'll move on quickly to take your pain away.
No, sorry, in Dublin, Leinster versus Bath. We are getting fucked in the arsehole. Anyway, this could possibly be the best game because it's top of the top 14 versus top of the Premiership.
We're talking about the next game, by the way.
Yeah, we are.
Bordeaux v Tigers.
Bordeaux versus... That's going to be a quality game, actually.
That's
going to be a quality game. Possibly the game of the weekend.
The L'Anglais.
Yeah. Got to think particularly the battle Jalabert and George Ford, the 210s.
That's actually very hard to predict.
Yeah. Because Tiger's doing so well.
Yeah.
But is a changing competition going to be bad?
I don't know if I can see Tigers losing.
But the fact it's in Bordeaux, I can see them losing.
Yes.
And for that reason, I'm probably going to have to go with Bordeaux taking it.
All right. Just to be different, I'll go Tigers.
It's close.
It was close for me.
Honestly, it's a flip of the coin for who you think is going to win. Top of the top 14 in Premiership.
I'd love to see, actually. Is it being televised, I guess?
Yeah, all the European games are televised.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Then the half-5 games. First up, we'll talk about Clermont versus Ulster. Clermont, I think, sat around 6th in the top 14 at the moment. Ulster sat 2nd in the URC. Obviously, they beat Leinster.
I was going to go Ulster from my uneducated position. But
last week, Ulster lost to Ospreys. Over the weekend. But also, you got to think Clermont, the Stade Michelin is such a fearsome ground.
I mean, most of the French ones are.
Well, do you know what, yeah, the French, I hate the French, but they do rugby towns much better than anywhere else. Because they pack out their stadiums week in, week out, and they're much bigger than a lot of the Premiership.
But is it their
ones as
national
well.
sport?
No, football is. But Clermont, the Stade Michelin is a scary place to go.
Yeah.
The atmosphere at that stadium.
Clermont?
I think I have to go Clermont.
Fair enough. I've already given mine. It's Ulster.
Yeah, Ulster. Then Bears versus Scarlets. Of course, Scarlets with...
We've touched on this game
34
already.
players currently in quarantine.
Jump straight to prediction. I'm going to say Bears. Just because of the quarantine
I think,
thing.
honestly, we could see it being forfeited by Scarlets.
Yeah.
And being given a 28-0 win to Bristol.
Is that what a forfeit is? It's bonus point win?
Yeah. Really unfortunate because it's not their fault, Scarlets. Yeah. I mean, they had such a trouble getting back. I think
maybe they just take it as a chance to give some young players a run.
Yeah. Or do you minimise the loss? Because there's only 4 games in the pool stages.
Yeah.
So, it's going to it might come down to points difference getting into the next stage.
Yeah.
But, you know what? I want the fixture to be played.
As a Bristol fan, I do.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if you're going to win, you don't want it to come from...
No, I don't want to win by default. I want to see some rugby played.
So, really wishing Scarlets the best in that game because their luck has been awful. But
I mean, Bristol might play a younger squad. They often do in European games. So
it's a Champions Cup, the time to rotate. But anyway, the final game on Saturday then.
Chiefs Montpellier.
Montpellier currently sat 3rd in the top 14.
Chiefs, of course, 5th.
In the Premiership. That's going to be an interesting game,
Yes.
If I were to go... Sorry, you go.
No, you go.
I'm a massive fan of Montpellier's squad, mainly because of Zach Mercer and Paolo Garbisi. Mercer and Garbisi,
Yes.
But then it's the travelling for the French teams, which they aren't traditionally the best at. At Sandy Park, I reckon Chiefs just take it.
I'm going to go Montpellier.
Okay, interesting. I mean, I could see Montpellier winning, but I just got a feeling Chiefs will nick it.
Yeah, I was going to go Chiefs maybe because they just got a win against Sarries of all people. But no, I think the Sandy Park crowd, I hate to say it, but European games don't get the same attendance, I find. Well, at least maybe it's because Bristol have been Challenge Cup. That's probably why.
Yeah.
So I'm not yet to know.
These are Champions Cup. These are proper European games.
And the Champions Cup games we did have were no crowds because of COVID. So I'm basically chatting
shit.
Thank you.
Anyway, then we move on to Sunday. This is actually really interesting to me. Ospreys against Sale.
Yes, because both are out of form. Really.
Ospreys aren't. Ospreys have Ospreys this season 7 games, 5 wins.
But I mean, that's not out of form at all, really.
No, but they haven't exactly been the most convincing wins. But then again, they've beaten Munster and Ulster this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
given how games have gone for Sale, at the moment, it's not all clicking for them.
No. But that's why I'm thinking for a lot of teams, especially a team like Sale, a change of competition could be good.
Yes, because this
is a very winnable game for Sale.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like, for Bath, you'd say a change of competition is very good, but we're playing Leinster, and that's not a winnable game in the slightest.
Yeah.
But for someone like Sale playing against Ospreys, this is a winnable game. But on the other hand, this is probably, out of the 3 Welsh regions in the European Cup, a Welsh side's best chance of winning.
Yeah.
So, I think Ospreys will just...
I was going to go Ospreys as well, yeah.
Yeah. Then if we move on, Connaught versus Stade Francais. Connaught, big winners against Ospreys 2 weekends ago, coincidentally. Then they lost 47-12 to Leinster last weekend.
Yeah, but Leinster.
Well, it's Leinster, yeah. Stade Francais also not exactly in the best form. I think they're sort of lower mid-table in the top 14. I'm
personally going to go Connaught.
Bearing in mind, the weather's supposed to be absolutely awful in Galway that night as well.
Yeah.
I reckon Connaught as well,
I can't see much flair coming out from Stade.
No, I can't see much flair coming out of that game.
Yeah.
Especially considering what the weather forecast is. It's supposed to be absolutely awful.
Yeah. But
then if we move on, La Rochelle versus Glasgow. Now, La Rochelle, not where they want to be. I think they're 5th at the moment in the top 14.
Yeah.
Had a bit of a inconsistent start to the season. But Ronan O'Gara, director of rugby, they've won They
bit on the up as
getting
well,
on the
because
wins.
not long ago they were in the Challenge Cup. Of course, they won it, but
It's again, it could be another interesting game,
yeah,
especially in La Rochelle, another rugby town. Glasgow on the weekend played the Dragons, ran to a dominant 35-7 win or something, 35-14.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I think Jack Dempsey in that game, the number 8, made about 100 metres. No,
For a
I
number eight,
remember what it was.
stupid.
No. Because at some point in that game, I think it was around the 60th minute, Jack Dempsey had made 115 metres.
that's stupid for number 8.
The whole of the Dragons side had made 112.
Yeah,
So
crazy.
You know, because it's, I'd reckon La Rochelle.
I was gonna go La Rochelle.
Yeah,
actually.
I think that's fair. Then if we move on to Wasps versus Munster, on the face of it, that sounds like a cracking game.
But then you look at Wasps.
Wasps
Injuries.
and do you know what? Munster, they landed in South Africa.
Yeah.
Only about 3 players actually left the plane before they turned around and went back home.
So they've probably not got.
They've
COVID.
not been affected by COVID. So you know, I see this.
That's
as,
interesting. I didn't know that actually.
Yeah.
They literally stayed on the plane.
I think like Craig Casey got onto the top of the steps and they just turned around and went straight back
What
in.
did they get told? I'm guessing.
Yeah, I suppose so.
So yeah, I'm gonna go Munster.
Munster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I want to see Munster have a really good year this year in
Yeah.
Europe, because Munster, you know, they've won the 2 European Cups with obviously Ronan Agar at 10. You know, those legendary Munster teams. I want to see them get back to that, because in Europe they've always been getting around the quarter-final, semi-final, but you never really watched them and thought they're going to win this whole thing.
No.
So, you know, I really want to see Munster put in a really good showing this year.
Yeah, I want
to
to see a Munster v Leicester.
They got a great squad, Munster. They've got, you know, players like Deolande. They've got
really quality players.
Joey Carberry. I got unfortunate RJ Snyman. He's injured again. Got injured a few weeks ago again. That's a shame. But anyway, yeah, as we both said, Munster probably to take that one. And then finally is Cust versus Quins. Cust, I think, another mid-table sort of French team.
Quins, of course, doing quite strong.
And after 2 losses, you know, Quins are going to be hungry to
definitely
bite back, you know.
And I think the sort of, because Cast, they're not like a lot of the Premiership is quite a defence, really good. Whereas French is a more open game. I think it was going to suit
Cast aren't really
Quins.
one of those, you know, French superpowers you think of. You know, you think your Toulons, your Toulouses when you think France. Your Clermonts as well. You've probably, I'm not sure Ali said this on BT Sport, they're probably the best team never to win the European Cup.
Oh, definitely.
Considering they've got to like 4 finals and lost them all. So, you know.
But I'm going to go Quins.
I think I'm going to go Quins as well. What's left then? Outlandish predictions.
Are we going to make them this week?
Well, I've said mine, and that's for Bath to beat Leinster.
I've got to come up with one on the
You got to come up with mine that's somehow more ridiculous than my one.
80 minutes.
Yeah.
There's a French team versus an English team. Just make sure that's happening a sufficient amount for me to make this prediction. French team versus English team. French team have to see out the game, make a mistake, and then an English team score to win it.
Okay.
I might not remember this because I'm not writing these down, but I'll check back into the
I'll remember mine, and that's for Bath to beat Leinster.
Yeah.
But anyway, that rounds up
the rugby hour, and very close to an hour this time.
So, the rugby hour and a few extra minutes. That rounds up this week's episode. A great weekend of Premiership action.
Yeah.
Unless you're a Bristol and Bath fan.
Yeah.
Looking forward to Europe next week.
Really am. Return.
This week, really good. 2 weeks of that coming up.
Yeah.
It's going to be great to see, great to watch. But I suppose on that positive note of hope and optimism for the weekend,
We'll finish it there.
That's a good place to end. So make sure to follow us on Instagram at the Rugby Hour, on Twitter. Not Twitter, we don't have Twitter yet. TikTok. The Rugby Hour as well, building nicely there. And apart from that, I want to say thank you very much for listening.
Yeah, thank you for listening, and goodbye.